also known as LOL. I'm Sam Dillon.
I'm Vanessa Astronato.
And I'm Terry Woodard.
And yeah, we're going to talk about our game. So we're going for a combination of several genres. We're going for a run and gun, side-scrolling platformer that's also like an RPG to an extent where a basic storyline guides the principles of the game, but you don't really have choices that matter. And in essence, you travel to different themed lands based on articles of clothing, and you beat enemies for clothes to eventually build the perfect outfit. So our initial design, our basic storyline revolves around our main character, Lint. He is an ordinary guy traversing through the pile of laundry that is life, and after being rejected by the girl of his dreams, he traveled to different lands to eventually gain pieces of clothing to build a perfect outfit and impress her. And so right now we have themed side-scrolling levels modeled after hats, shirts, pants, and shoes, with a boss room at the end, and upon defeating the boss, you gain a power-up that's accompanied by a relevant new ability. And overall, this will update your sprite over time until you're colorful and super cool at the end. So some other smaller objectives that we have is that throughout each level, we have smaller, less significant items of clothing just scattered throughout that helps you build your attractiveness bar. And when you fill up the attractiveness bar, it allows you to progress to the boss room and eventually throughout the entire game. Smaller enemies are also scattered throughout the levels, and that impedes your path to the boss and gives more of a challenge. And as I mentioned before, beating each level's boss allows you to gain a power-up, and as you can see, you can gain a new pair of shoes. So we drew our inspirations from traditional side-scrolling platforms like from the Mario series, such as Yoshi's Island, and the run-and-gun aspect we drew from Cuphead. And we were kind of straying away from the pixelated art style just because we wanted a more unique feel to the game, which is what I really liked about Cuphead. And but we still wanted to implement the traditional functions of a side-scrolling platformer.
So as Vanessa said, with our aesthetics, we wanted to use bright, vibrant colors as in Yoshi's Island and in Cuphead. We wanted to give the player a lighthearted, joyful, positive feelings throughout the game. The game never really gets dark. All the colors stays bright throughout because we want the player to feel that joy in helping Lint become more colorful himself and gaining clothing. Also with the plot, it's a lighthearted plot. As we said, Lint's just trying to gain clothes to build the perfect outfit to impress the girl. And you'll see as it goes on, he'll brighten up more colorful, and we also want the player to feel like they're brightening up along with them. And also as far as gameplay, we wanted to implement challenges, and levels get progressively harder as you advance, but we never wanted the player to feel too frustrated as far as not being able to clear challenges. Our core mechanics are your typical platforming mechanics. Use arrow keys for running and jumping and basic movement, and the space bar is for shooting enemies. And then with our dynamics, it revolves around item collection. So you saw throughout the level, there's articles of clothing that you have to collect to build your attractiveness meter, and that's how you progress through levels and progress into the boss levels. And into those boss levels, once they're defeated, you'll get a larger power-up item, as we saw with the shoes, that give you abilities that help you on later in the game. For example, the first pair of shoes you get unlocks your double jump ability. So some challenges that we faced were, since our concept is your typical platformer, we had to focus on other features and make those really pop more. So as with the item collection, with the unique bosses and enemies. Also, we ran into bugs as you typically do, but we tended to focus on smaller bugs early on instead of trying to expand our game and really flesh out as big as we wanted it to be. And also implementing artwork into code, so just making sprite animations move the way we want to, differentiating between enemies and good items and things like that. Some successes that we found were in-game feedback. We love the way when you hit enemies get pushed back, you get pushed back. You really feel like you just got hit by that enemy. Also with the user interface, we try to make it as clear as possible how you gain attractiveness by picking up items, how you know when to progress at the end of the level if you have enough attractiveness to progress. Also with player feedback, Players loved our artwork, unique artwork, color scheme, things like that. And also with the plot, I know like I said, you enjoyed the clever clothing-related enemies, levels, and storyline.
So what is going well? We have a strong individual initiative. So everybody in the group at one point has contributed a large amount at the beginning of a week, and it has helped each of us like progress throughout the week and make us be able to reach the sprint very well. We have a very strong team dynamic. Every time we meet up, we're always laughing and joking and making new ideas, which makes communication super easy for our group. And we're also very good at generating ideas, so we just talk through GroupMe all the time, and we're constantly creating new ways to make the game go on. So what could have gone better is we could communicate more in person. We tend to communicate mainly through GroupMe, and we don't meet up as much as we should. We probably should meet up like about 3 times a week, but we more meet up 1 to 2 times a week outside of class. We need to set up more small deadlines so that we get things done right before the sprint ends. We tend to get things done around Sunday night, Monday morning, and we do not get hung up on small details. That is a very big problem for me, myself especially. Lessons learned. So we need to check up on each other more often and make sure everybody in the group is doing well. We need to not be afraid to ask for help. Just group and teammates is how teamwork works. And we need to make sure we do not procrastinate. Procrastination is probably our biggest problem because, like I said before, we do push most things off to Sunday night. And I'm not gonna lie, I've pulled an all-nighter before for this class. So yeah. Questions?
Just wanted to comment.
Yeah.
I love this. I love this. I want it. Can you provide some examples of the punny monsters? Because I love puns.
Oh, we just like for like the shoe level, we have like a giant like foot.
Yeah. So like you're collecting socks, so then you're like fighting a foot that actually we're gonna admit it's like smelly stinks from.
Are you gonna like break a leg?
Yeah, I mean maybe we'll probably like puns are more just like the monsters themselves right now.
Or will we have to give the protagonist a hand?
That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, maybe we'll implement that. Any more questions? Yeah.
When you guys first came up with the idea, was it like one person sat down and was like, this is what we should do, or you just like all came to this idea?
I came up with like the whole like building like the sprite as you go, because that was kind of like something I thought about whenever I was making my demo, and then like whenever I just like kind of fleshed it out on the mind map, and whenever we like convened, we just kind of like kept building off of it.
Any more questions?
Yeah. Besides shoes, what else can he collect to wear?
Yeah, so we wanted each level to be based on a different like article of clothing. So like right now he has shoes, but eventually we want like pants so that maybe he can like crouch under stuff, and then like a shirt for like, you know, like maybe like turtleneck for defense and that kind of stuff.
Are the levels one screen or do they scroll?
They scroll.
And they get progressively longer as you advance.
Any more? Yeah.
What program do you use for the art?
I just use Photoshop.
No.
Do you know what kind of outfit is it?
I think
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions? All right.
So what will be my comment?
Building bullets.
Go to your What Went Well slide. The good team dynamic thing looks like a lot easier. It's capitalized, but also might be a 1 point size above, or maybe the one individual initiative is 1 point size below, something like that. But if you have just being really nitpicky, but if you have capitalization, then you need to follow it through. And so that, given the rest of the slides, you wouldn't have capitalization right there. All right, good job.